Hi everyone, let's talk about Empire Season 2, Episode 16. I'm going to talk about the top 5 things that stood out the most to me in this episode. At first, Cookie seemed hesitant about being the co CEO. When the shareholders told them that they wanted Lucius and Cookie to be co CEOs, she kind of almost didn't want it to happen because I think in the back of her mind, she knew that Lucius was not going to be happy with it. So initially, I don't think she was really into it, but by the time this episode kicks in, she is full cookie mode. Okay? They're having this meeting with D Major, who is the musical director of the Aces. And they're talking, and Lucius comes in the room, right? But it's almost as if he wasn't even there because Cookie just ran that whole meeting. She was telling Lucius that they were going to, what songs they were going to do. He wasn't going to get to do his individual song. They were going to do one song with all the sons, and that was how it was going to go. Like, she just kept shutting him up, and he just kept looking at her like, who are you talking to? Right? So Cookie was feeling herself. She was in boss mode. She also dominated when it was time for Lucius and the sons to get together and practice the song initially. And they were kind of bickering and arguing and going back and forth because, Jamal and Hakeem, they were just not okay with doing this song with Lucius. They're still very upset at him. So, Cookie kind of smooths everything over and keeps reminding them that they're family and that's why we're doing this. And she just really pulled everything together. She really made them sit down and work together as a family. So Hakeem and Tiana are working on this song in the studio. And as they're doing this song, they keep kind of looking back and forth at each other. And I was just thinking in my mind, Hakeem, don't even do it. You are engaged. Like, what are you doing? And even after the song was over and they were sitting there talking, and Tiana, she was kind of poking fun at him and telling him that he needed to be in the house at a certain time, and she was like, the Hakeem I know, didn't have a curfew. He did what he wanted. And, she was just basically poking fun at him and saying, you have all these new responsibilities now. You got a wifey on the way and a baby on the way. And when she got up to leave, Hakeem was checking her out. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? I think that Hakeem has matured a lot only in the business world because when he was the CEO, I think he did a great job. But emotionally and in his relationships, I think he's still very immature. He's still a young man. And even though I know he loves Laura, I don't think they're going to end up walking down the aisle because he looks like he's ready to make all kinds of mistakes with Tiana. I don't care what he tells Laura. You know, Laura thinks that Tiana still wants him. No, from the way I see it, I think that Hakeem is the one that wants Tiana. I'm just saying. Tiana just seemed like, she was just trying to be cool with him, just in a friendly kind of a way. Maybe it was a little playful, flirty, or whatever, but I just don't think she's literally trying to take Hakeem from Laura. I just don't think so. D Major is the musical director of the ASA Awards, and he's working with Empire because he wants Lucius, Jamal, and Hakeem to perform a song together. So the first interaction that D Major has with Jamal, it seemed a little weird to me. Jamal was kind of protesting with Cookie about being on the song with Lucius. And D Major kind of tells him, don't throw a hissy fit. Hmm? What are you talking about? Who says that? Then, when Jamal interrupts his session, he got so angry. It was almost like he got too angry. And I'm thinking, why are you getting this pumped up just because he came in and interrupted your session? Now, granted, time is money. I get it. But it's almost like he got too mad. Like, why are you that mad? And instantly I thought, you must like him or something. And it was just like a secondhand thought. And then 2 seconds later, they hooked up. But see, the problem with this is Major is basically DL, and Jamal is very out. Like he spent so much time working on being able to be comfortable in his own skin and admitting that he's gay, and just kind of building his life around that. So for me, even though in the end Jamal kind of gave in and decided to still deal with him, I don't think that it's going to go anywhere because Jamal will be taking major steps back. And he worked so hard to kind of get to where he is now. So I don't see it really going anywhere. I think it'll be maybe a fling or something, just something that they go through. I don't know. But I don't see it. I don't see it lasting. Just something to do. Yeah. Anika and Rhonda are basically, I think they were at Hakeem's apartment and they're kind of baby proofing things. And I don't know, did anybody else think it was weird that Rhonda was giving Anika her baby stuff? Well, I don't know, especially once we find out, what we know later. But I just thought it was weird. She was giving all her baby stuff away. They were, just talking or whatever. And then it happened. This box was about to fall on Rhonda, and one of the movers pushed her out of the way. And that push triggered a memory for her. And she tells Anika, I think someone pushed me down the stairs. And Anika seemed genuinely surprised, and I'm thinking, mm. Because I'm gonna tell you, at first, when it first happened, I thought that Anika had pushed her only because she was the only person who really had motive to get rid of Andre and Rhonda's baby. I think she wanted to be the one to have the lion heir, right? So I don't know. I always just thought it was her. But the only thing that threw me was the fact that the person that pushed Rhonda had flat shoes on. But now that I'm thinking about it, why would Anika be wearing heels to do something like that anyway? Right? Because at first I thought, okay, they're flat shoes. Maybe it was a man, because they make those type of shoes. They make red bottoms for men. But it was kind of a dressy kind of a shoe. So I was just kind of, I don't know. I felt that if Anika wasn't the one that pushed her down the stairs, she had something to do with it. That's just what I thought. So fast forward, later on, Anika and Rhonda are sitting down, I think in Anika's apartment, and Rhonda's having some wine, and Anika is complaining about her ankles swelling. So she kicks up her foot, and rubs her ankle. And Rhonda sees the bottom of her shoe, which flashes her back to where when she was on the ground, she saw a foot leaving, walking out of the house, and the bottom of the shoe looked just like Anika's shoe. So for me, that just confirmed it. It was Anika who pushed her down the stairs. Because once again, who else had motive to get rid of that baby other than Anika? Nobody. But it threw me off because Anika was acting so cool. Like she didn't do anything to her. She was just surprised that someone would even do that to her, just real conniving. I'm not too crazy about the direction that they're taking Anika's character on because at the beginning of this show, Anika was boss. She was well put together. She was about her business, but she wasn't petty. She wasn't vindictive. She just didn't seem like that type of a person. Even though she told Lucius, I'm turning into someone that I don't even recognize. I don't even know who I am because of the stuff that I'm going through with you. I understand that. Sometimes that happens in relationships. A person will make you act out of character, but you kind of draw it back after, the relationship is over. And that relationship with Lucius has been over. So why is she still acting crazy? We know from the last episode that Harper gave Andre the papers about his grandmother. So he goes and visits her and he brings her to the family to introduce her to the family. Instantly, Lucius looks crazy. He has this moment where it almost seems like he's happy to see her. And then within the next second, he was scared to death and he got out of there. Like he booked it. And Hakeem and Jamal were just looking like, what? This is our grandmother? And even Cookie was like, what's going on here? Right? And so Lucius basically says, as he's hightailing it out of the room, you don't know what you've done. Right? So he's scared to death. Lucius's mother comes home with him. And she keeps calling him Dwight. And he keeps correcting her and saying, my name is Lucius. And it seems like every time he corrects her, she just kind of looks at him like, no, your name is Dwight. No one understands why Lucius is acting so weird with his mother. So later on in the episode, he and his mother sit down at the piano. They share this real moment, and it was really sweet. And the song that they came up with, they actually used that song as the music for the song that Lucius and Hakeem and Jamal are going to perform at the Aces. And you think things are probably going to go right. Lucius has a nurse come to his house to make sure that his mother is taken care of, that she takes her medicine, and he tells Juanita to make sure she takes her medicine and all of that. Keep an eye on her. Don't let anyone come in and out unless you clear it through me first. So cut to the end of the episode. And Lucius, I guess, was waking up by his mom at 3 o'clock in the morning, and she brings him into the dining room, and she has cooked 1,000,001 cakes. And he's looking at her like, what are you doing? Where's Juanita? And she said, I sent her home. And he said, why did you send her home? You don't have the right to do that. And, she had this crazy, tick going on. And she's like, I don't like other people cooking in my kitchen. Your kitchen. Okay. She even tells him, sit down, all aggressively. And Lucius sits down. She cuts him a piece of cake and, she tells him to eat it. And he's just still looking at her like, what is going on around here? And she's like, I'm not going to tell you again. And he takes his knife and he eats the cake. I mean, she turned into Ike and he turned into Tina and he ate that cake. Okay? She's crazy. See, something ain't right. Lucius is scared of her for a reason. She talks about how she's been slaving in the kitchen, making, all them gazillion cakes while he left her alone all day. Ma'am, he's got to work. And then she goes into this whole thing about everybody leaves me, even your father left. And Lucius is like, he didn't leave us. He died. He got killed. Right? Then she starts using this abusive language with him. She says that she was fine until she had him. He is the reason why that she is how she is. Like she blames him. She looks at him and she says, do you love me? And he looks up at her and he says, yes. And she immediately calls him a liar. What? And then she said that she is sorry that she was too weak to kill him while she had the chance. Oh, see, Listen, by the end of this season, somebody's probably gonna have to knock her off because I think she's gonna go bat crap crazy and they're gonna have to deal with her. They just gonna have to do something about her because listen, Lucius knows her on a whole nother level. She was mentally abusive to him, physically abusive to him, and all of these things seem like they just triggered back into play when she showed up. She kind of came in and consumed his whole world around him. And I don't think he really knows what to do about it. She still intimidates him. She still instills fear in him. And it's crazy to see because nobody has gotten to Lucius in this way. So, I don't know. I don't know how this gonna go. So anyway, there's this thing that Cornelia does on AfterBuzz TV. It's called Cold Piece of the Week. And basically what cold piece stands for is anyone or anything in an episode that was cold, either good or bad. So in this episode, my cold piece of the week goes to Cookie and her Pocahontas dress that she wore at the beginning of this episode. She looked like she was about to build a teepee. I'm gonna need her not to have all that fringe on her dresses ever again in life. And then there was turquoise mixed in there. Girl, cut it out. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my review of this episode of Empire. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If there was anything that I failed to talk about, just drop your comments below and we'll discuss it. And I will catch you guys next time on the next episode of Empire. Bye.